Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grind. Here's your host, JB.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back for another episode. We're going to have Coach join us here in just a second. But before we do us a big favor, share us, like us, subscribe, retweet, wherever you're joining us at live tonight. We would definitely appreciate that. Help spread the word, the good word of Appalachian State Wrestling. If you're not an iPad or a podcast listener, or if you are, go over and check us out on Apple. We're on Apple. I think we're on most of them right now. But you can go subscribe to us over on Apple, leave a review, let us know you're listening. If you are catching us on podcast, whatever your podcast platform may be. I know it's been a while. It's been a pretty crazy month, to be honest with you. Battling some illness here in our house. My family has been, my wife over a month, and I'm just getting over it myself after about 2 weeks. So apologize for that. We've had some good wrestling, and we've had some disappointing postponements as well. So we'll get an update on everything that's happened, what we have to look forward to, and kind of a preview of the SoCon. I know we started one duel and got one under our belt, but we'll check in with Coach JohnMark in just a minute. So appreciate everybody joining us. If you have a comment or question for Coach, I'm going to try to monitor the chats a little better tonight. You can join us on Facebook Live. We're there. You can leave a comment or a question that you might have for Coach there. Or on Twitter. I will see if I can monitor that a little bit. I know we usually have a pretty good viewership on Twitter, so if you're there, you can leave a comment or ask a question of Head Coach JohnMark Bentley, and I'll try to remember to get to those before we end the episode. So if you're joining us live, feel free to do that. Let's go check in with Head Coach Bentley at the Bentley Household. Coach, how are things going in the Bentley Household tonight?
It's going good, Jeremy. Just got home a little bit ago and trying to get the girls settled, and the wife is heading to pick my son up from wrestling practice as we speak. So everything's good. Nice,
yeah. Wrestling for the Little Bentley. How's the Little Bentley doing in his wrestling career progression?
He's doing well. I mean, he's wrestled two little tournaments so far, and he's had a lot of success at those. But really, right now it's just about him enjoying the sport and learning and soaking up as much knowledge and as much skill as he can. And we had a little break over Christmas where we didn't have any youth practices, but I've taken him to the room a couple times this past week and worked with him a little bit one-on-one. And he's really enjoyed that. I know he's missing wrestling, and so I know he was itching to get back to club practice tonight. So he did not want to miss it. And so my wife made sure she took him and picked him up. So
nice, yeah. It's got to be pretty fun and exciting for you to see the Little Bentley coming up and wrestling like that for sure. Coach, we've got a lot to cover. Let's get started so I don't take up too much of your evening tonight. We left off, the last time you and I talked was right after NC State came to Boone. A couple of days later, you welcomed North Carolina to Boone, number 20 North Carolina. Coach, I know your response. You're going to say you're disappointed. You expected to walk away from that one for a win. But, man, for those of you that weren't in varsity gym when North Carolina came to Boone, number 20 ranked North Carolina came to Boone, Coach, you guys took it to them. I mean, they only won because they got some bonus points in a couple of matches.
Yeah, it was a great duel. Our guys competed hard, and we had a lot of guys do a lot of great things. And I know it was an exciting atmosphere for the fans and for our crowd. And but obviously it was at the same time a disappointing result. I felt like we did a lot of things to put us in a position to win that match. Split with them 5-5, and hindsight, we probably needed to win 6 matches to win that duel. Knowing that we gave up bonus points at 60 or at 57 and at 97. But we also had a couple of opportunities where we could have gotten bonus points, and we just didn't simply didn't capitalize on those. And in good matches like that with good teams, you've got to find a way to win that bonus point battle. And I keep preaching that to our guys. And unfortunately, Carolina just was able to find to get the most out of those matches, and we weren't, and that was the end result. But I was proud of the guys' effort for the most part. I thought that we competed hard, and we learned a lot of things, and hopefully we fix some of those mistakes that we made in that duel.
Yeah, that's something that I caught on pretty quickly when I started following the team closely. Those guys push really hard to score every point they can, even if it's a little bit further out before they'll get a bonus point. They are scrapping every second for the last point they can get, and this is a perfect example of why those bonus points matter so much. I mean, you get a great team like that where they split 5-5 right down the middle, and as you said, those two individual matches where bonus points were awarded was the difference. But a great atmosphere for the fans. I know the team was disappointed. I know the staff was disappointed, the student athletes. But a great atmosphere there at Varsity Gym. Another wild one, obviously, having a North Carolina school come to town. Great atmosphere. Coach, what's the atmosphere been like for the staff and the team with having Varsity Gym packed out the way it's been for the first two starts?
It was good, Jeremy. I mean, it was obviously it's something that we've missed, and kind of looked forward to having our fans back, and man, they did not disappoint in that NC State match, having almost 1,300 fans there. And then, also for North Carolina, it was a Friday night post exams. We didn't really have any any students there. And then we also, our football team played in the bowl game the following day. And I think basketball was on the road as well. So there just weren't a lot of people in Boone, but we still, packed the gym and had a, packed, crowd for that match. So I was really proud of our fans. And, it's such an advantage. Like I can't overstate that enough, how much of an advantage it is for our wrestlers to be able to wrestle in that kind of environment in Varsity Gym. I mean, it gives us such an advantage over our opponents. And, anybody you talk to will tell you that it's a hostile environment when they come into Varsity Gym and have to wrestle us in front of our home crowd. And so, I want to say thank you to our fans, thank you to our alumni and all our supporters. If you enjoyed those two matches, we're going to need you back this semester. We've got some really big matches coming to Varsity Gym, and, hopefully we'll put on a good show for you and give you, a little bit of something exciting to watch.
Yeah, there's a young man that wrestles for NC State that has a Rockfin account, and I watched some of his. He does some like behind the scene videos and that sort of thing, and even Coach Pat with NC State. Both of them spoke very highly of the environment and the atmosphere at Varsity Gym. So it goes a long way when a team like that with that kind of success and where they're at in the rankings. Speaks to our facilities and our location at Varsity Gym like that. So definitely good. As you said, Carolina, bad timing, obviously, with the bowl game and after exams and everything else. But the fans that were there were rowdy. Definitely a good crowd. Two good crowds so far. We'd hoped to had another one on Friday, but you guys went up to Bellarmine on the 19th, Coach. Bellarmine a little bit new, I think, to Division I wrestling. I think this is maybe their second year in Division I after coming up and joining us in the SoCon. Obviously, not the easiest conference in wrestling. With some big names in it, but you guys went up there to Louisville, Kentucky, Coach, and took it to them.
Yeah, it was a short turnaround. We wrestled Carolina on Friday night, get out of the gym probably 9:30, 10 at night, and then load the bus the next morning at 8 a.m. heading to Bellarmine. And, our guys responded well. We got up to Louisville and worked out with our guys on that Saturday night and then wrestled the duel on Sunday. I really thought we had a good effort. Obviously very unfortunate circumstance that Mason Fasella had a season-ending injury on Sunday, but I was proud of our guys, and thought they wrestled dominant, and got us that first dual win and first conference win.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking for sure, and it's wrestling, right? It's one of those things that there's always that possibility. But hate to see it with Mason, obviously wrestling at some of the highest that he's wrestled since he's been there, in that position. So it was a tough one for sure. Coach, I think we started that duel off with after the forfeiture that Caleb Smith got, if I'm not mistaken, by looking at it, 4 falls in a row. Russell,
Yeah, that's right.
Brito, Milner, and Bond with a tech fall. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was that was a pretty impressive start. I was wondering how long you guys were going to be able to keep that streak of falls going. So, but I think that every one of them after that, if I'm not mistaken, ended up with at least bonus points or a fall. So, definitely impressive showing up there.
Yeah, our guys wrestled well and scored a lot of points, and it was good to end the first semester with a dominant performance.
Yeah, especially after 2 very tough teams coming to Boone, and taking a hit by those 2 guys that had to feel good to get the guys into some competition where they could come out on top, in that situation. Southern Scuffle, not too far away after that, Coach. The 1st and 2nd of January, went down there. What was your takeaway from the Scuffle?
Honestly, Jeremy, I thought overall we competed well. We didn't have our full lineup at hand for various reasons. A couple of injuries and a couple of COVID protocols put some guys out that would have been wrestling in that tournament. But even without a couple of our starters, I think we finished top 8 in that tournament that has a big, strong field. We had 4 placers in the tournament, which was pretty outstanding, to have that many placers. And, we got some good, tough matches, and that was the main thing. We wanted to put ourselves in a position to continue getting those tough matches that we're going to be facing come nationals time. And that's kind of, we were able to see some more of those faces that will be familiar in March, and, got to measure ourselves against them. And, the matches we came up short, we learned a lot. The matches that we were able to win, we learned a lot from those as well. So all in all, I thought it was a pretty good tournament. Obviously, ideally would have preferred to have had our whole lineup wrestling in it. But I thought it was, a success. And, unfortunately we came back and then had some, COVID protocols, as a result of that tournament. But, we're back to, we got our full team training again, and, excited and itching to get back to competition.
Yeah, that was led by a good performance from Will Formato, 4th place finish in the 165-pound bracket that had 6 of the top 20 wrestlers in it. That bracket was probably, that weight class is probably the most competitive weight class at that tournament. There was a lot of guys that were ranked that were still there and showed up to wrestle that one. Obviously, there was some other weight classes where some ranked individuals didn't participate in those in that tournament. But yeah, that was an impressive performance by Will for sure.
Yeah, I thought he probably had the best tournament of our guys there. He beat a lot of nationally ranked guys, and really, I think showed a lot of consistency. And he's definitely in a upward trajectory. He seems to be wrestling better each and every competition, gaining confidence, and excited about kind of where he could be in March.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting to watch that young man through the rest of this season as well. Coach, January 7th, the Citadel was supposed to come back to Boone, ended up being postponed. What happened with that event?
Well, like I said, after the Southern Scuffle, we had several cases, positive cases from COVID, and then we had a bunch of guys contact traced for COVID protocols, and so we just really it kind of shut our whole team down for the majority of the week. And, and so we were forced to kind of postpone that match. And, we haven't gotten a makeup date for it yet, but we're hopeful to kind of put one on the books here in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, it's unfortunate that it happens, right? Maybe it's fortunate that some of those guys are getting it out of the way early, and maybe they'll be able to get by the rest of the season without having to worry too much about it again. It's always tough when you're dealing with those type of situations, and I will tell you, I've listened to a little bit of ESPN radio. And wrestling obviously is not the only sport that's dealing with it. Basketball games, I think, are being canceled or postponed on a daily basis right now. So it's tough. You would think by now they would have a better protocol than canceling games because somebody shows up positive that may not necessarily be ill, but. Definitely going to be impactful for the season. So, Coach, if this duel doesn't get rescheduled, what happens? What's the SoCon's protocol for competition like this?
This is obviously there's no playbook for this. I mean, all this is just kind of the world we live in now, and I think when we postponed it, both teams were under the agreement and expectation that we will make it up sometime before the conference tournament. And so, we're going to do our part to try to, offer up, some dates to the Citadel. And, I spoke with Coach LeBlanc, and, I think he's the same way. We've just got to kind of figure out when it makes sense within our schedule. So there's not really a playbook for this. So this is just kind of we're on new territory.
Yeah. Well, let's get him back at the Boone so we can welcome Ryan back to varsity gym the proper way. Mm-hmm. With a big L. Mm-hmm. Coach, January 13th, we got another one. Man, I think you've hit them all, right? Like all the Power 5 wrestling teams in North Carolina, I think you're going to knock them out this season. Might be one of the first times, right, that you've hit all three in one season?
No, we typically, I think for the last 5 years, we've always wrestled Carolina State and Duke, the P5s within our state. That's kind of always been on our schedule for the last 5 years. And last year we weren't able to because of COVID protocols. We weren't able to, but in the previous years we always have. And, on Thursday night we'll make a trip to Durham and get a chance to wrestle Duke. And, obviously excited about another opportunity to compete.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. At Duke on the 13th. So that's right around the corner, a couple of days away, Coach. When you guys heading out Thursday afternoon, or will you guys go down there the night before and then stay?
No, we'll be traveling day off. Yeah. That's the way we do it in sport of wrestling. Yeah. All of our in-state competitions, we travel the day off.
That'll be a good competition. I haven't followed Duke much lately, but it'll be good competition either way for our student athletes, and obviously a good time to watch those duels. Then we got VMI kind of getting to the heart of the SoCon after that, Coach, and getting to hopefully a more on schedule and on par of what we expect, and hopefully not any more COVID issues coming up. But have some great competition, have had some great competition. We'll have some more great competition this week, Coach. We've also got a few guys that have already been recognized with some outstanding achievements already this season. Is as short as it's been, but we've already got some of the guys that are already there and getting recognized. I think Will Formato has been Wrestler of the Week and maybe even a month in the SoCon. Is that correct, Coach?
Yeah, he was December Southern Conference Wrestler of the Month.
Nice. And also Flitz was SoCon Wrestler of the Week back in December 22nd, I think, is when he was named that. So
that's right.
Already some good recognition for the wrestlers. Already a lot of good stuff going on, Coach. What do you guys have looking forward to outside of Duke? I know we've got a tournament coming up at some point here in Boone again as well.
Yeah, so as of right now, we wrestle Thursday night at Duke. And obviously we've got to be ready for that test. It's going to be a good test for us. They're always a well-coached team, and they've got a couple of really good wrestlers, and a couple of them will face our good wrestlers. So it'll be a good test for us on Thursday night, and then we'll be back at home in Varsity Gym next Friday night, where we'll have a tri-meet. We'll actually wrestle 2 matches. We'll take on VMI, which is a Southern Conference school, and then Arkansas Little Rock. And so we'll wrestle 2 of those 2 matches next Friday night at home. So come out and watch. You'll get 2 for the price of 1. So.
Yeah, that'll be a great time. It's always interesting to watch the tri matches like that. So that'll definitely be good. Coach, we've also had some guys recently recognized with some top 20 rankings. I think we've got 6 of them in the top 20 there in Intermat. We've got a couple of them with Flow. We've also got some guys that have been recognized with some Chancellors and Dean's List honors for this fall semester.
Yeah, we had, obviously one of our redshirt freshmen, Kobe Early, made the Chancellor's List this fall. And then we had 8 wrestlers that were on the Dean's List, including Tommy Askey, Chad Bellis, Orrin Bost, Riley Edwards, Will Formato, Heath Gonyar, Chopper Mordecai, and Joe Zavostowski. So really proud of those guys, and not only guys that are getting it done on the wrestling mat, but getting it done in the classroom as well.
Coach, here's a name in there that looks familiar. Any relation?
Yes. Yeah, that's Matt Zavostowski's younger brother.
That's nice. Is he as good on the mat as his older brother is?
He's got a ways to go to catch Matt, but he's definitely developing fast, and I'm hopeful that you're going to see some good wrestling out of him before he's all said and done.
Nice. Yeah, that's good when you see that name. If he's even if he's half as good as Matt was, really, that guy was that guy put some hurting on some people out there on the mat, and done a great job as an App State Mountaineer. Coach, that's some big honors right there as being a guy that really is involved with the fundraising part of it, with the Yosef Club and the scholarship aspect of it, and obviously the need of scholarships for the wrestling team. To have those 8 guys on the Dean's List and then 1 on the Chancellor's List is big. That's an accomplishment for the program for sure, and one of those things that we need to make sure that we recognize those young men for, because it's not easy, folks. If you've ever been close to a program and seen the amount of training that goes into this, and then all the schoolwork that comes behind it. So congratulations on that, Coach, for you and the staff, and obviously the student athletes. Big accomplishment. We're definitely proud of you guys for doing that. That's pretty telling to the culture that you got instilled in that program.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I think one thing that you'll find on that list, it's a common theme. A lot of those wrestlers are some of our hardest workers in the room as well. I think when that's kind of your identity and who you are, and you try to strive to be your best in every facet of your life, then that transitions to everything you do, and that's very apparent when you look at that list. I mean, I could look at those lists, and pretty much every guy on that list, I can say, yeah, they're a really hard worker, and they're some of our hardest workers in the room as well. So really proud of those guys and the way they represent our program.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, that's one accomplishment that I don't think, and I'm probably just as guilty as anybody, that we don't recognize the wrestlers that make those type of things near as much as we should. So kudos to you guys. Great job with that. Coach, appreciate your time tonight. Don't forget, folks, January 21st is a Friday, right back at Varsity Gym. It's going to be actually a 3-for-1. Right, we've got a tri-meet. There'll be 3 duels that happen there at that meet. VMI and Little Rock will also compete there, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be a great event. I will tell you, Varsity Gym will probably be packed out for that event because the students will be back. It'll be the middle of wintertime, and it'll be cold. In the meantime, it says Duke that is on the 13th Thursday is going to be on the ACC Network Extra. So if you have access to that, you'll be able to watch them there. I will do what I can do to make sure I get on that one as well. Coach, appreciate your time. Anything else we missed?
No, that's it, man. I appreciate the time tonight, and really appreciate our fans and all the support, and really excited for this semester and the opportunities that are ahead of us.
Yeah, maybe now that we've got all the illness and everything out of our household, we'll be able to do this on a little bit more regular basis. So appreciate you coming in and getting caught up with us, Coach, and letting us know what we have to look forward to and recognize some of the student athletes that have done tremendous work already this season.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Coach, you have a good night. Hey, check it out. Go follow, like, subscribe. It's always great to have Coach JohnMark Bentley on an episode and get caught up with him. Definitely grateful for his time. I know he's got some recruiting calls that he's going to do a little bit later, I believe. So definitely appreciate the little bit of time that we're able to get from him. Go subscribe, follow, retweet, wherever it is that you're at, and stay in touch with that. We'll post this on the podcast platforms tomorrow morning at some point. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and look forward to seeing everybody hopefully at Varsity Gym on January 21st. Until then, go Apps.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.